We gotta continue to be righteously outraged as our president just took his Muslim ban to the highest courts of this land.
Woo!
We have
Stop
to
doing
be
that.
righteously outraged as we just engaged in a deadly airstrike in the recent weeks in Iraq that killed 200 civilians, the deadliest since the war in Iraq in 2003. You have to continue to be outraged when on your watch and the watch of the American people we dropped the mother of all bombs on Afghanistan. We have to continue to raise our voices and be outraged every time a young black man or woman is killed at the hands of law enforcement in this country. We have to be outraged every time a white domestic terrorist kills innocent people, just this past week in Portland, or Richard Collins III, the Bowie University student. We have to ensure that the voices of hate and divisiveness are not louder than the voices of love and solidarity in these United States of America. We have to be careful as we live in the age of alternative facts and fake news, that we stand by one another, that we correct the misinformation, that we not allow for the demonization and vilification of any group of people living amongst us here in these United States of America. I want to remind you that just a few weeks ago, we remembered the 75th anniversary of the signing of Executive Order 96, which began the internment of Japanese Americans. Sisters and brothers, we cannot be bystanders to injustice in this country. We must acknowledge the past and commit to never again. I commit to you to never being a bystander to injustice. Sisters and brothers, if standing tall and proud and engaging in dissent was easy, everybody would be doing it. I am grateful for courageous Americans like you from all walks of life who choose to spend their time keeping their voices loud, attending town hall meetings, holding their elected officials accountable, because this is not just about this administration. My eyes are wide open. Wide open on a local level. If you are a member of Congress and you have been silent against this administration, just know that your silence is taking you out of that seat in 2018. You may say, I'm not so sure, but we are already starting to see the results of the resistance. We just watched a Bernie surrogate, Christina Pellegrino, in a red district in upstate New York, win an election just a week ago. We are about to welcome John Ossoff in Georgia to the resistance. So the people are woke. We are woke. And we will not go back to sleep. We also have to remember that we just made the largest arm deal with Saudi Arabia. Stop talking to me about Saudi Arabia, which is one of the closest U.S. allies, and we've been in bed with the Saudis for far too long. We need to be consistent in our outrage and the relationships that our administration is making on our behalf. I ask you today, and people say, you know, Linda, I come to this march, I hold my sign, I got the passion, I got the energy, but I want to know what else there is that I can do. When I think about Japanese internment and I think about who those bystanders were that allowed for their Japanese American neighbors to be picked up with their children and put in camps on this U.S. soil, I think about the silent majority. I wonder to myself if those Japanese Americans had relationships with their next door neighbors, if their children played with those other kids, if we were able to create deep relationships. Are we ready to love and protect one another?
Yes!
So I ask you today, when you go back to your local neighborhoods, knock on your neighbor's door. Tell them, hey, this is my name. If you ever need me for anything, I got your back. I don't have hope in the state to protect me as a Muslim. My hope is in you, the American people. I also ask, we all have some means. We all came here today in some form of transportation. We probably picked up a bottle of water, or we probably bought a coffee as we got here. This organizing is not free. And in this country, freedom is not free. So we need your support for the organizers of the Women's March, of the Town Hall Project, of the ACLU, of MoveOn.org, of Demos, of Color of Change. All those who are on the front lines of the resistance need your support. Whatever you can give, $5, $10, we need to fund the resistance. Sisters and brothers, a lot of people are hashing and rehashing what happened during the election. I hope that you can join me in looking forward and forgetting about what happened in the past. It does not serve us to dwell in what got us into this situation. I want to look forward. And what I'm asking you here today is to commit to not being a bystander. I ask for you to commit here to being a member of the resistance. I ask you here today to love and protect your neighbors. I ask you here today to have those courageous conversations that need to be had. We often come out to these rallies and we're preaching to the choir. We're already friends here. We mostly agree in this circle, but we have to go back and talk to our mothers and grandmothers and our aunts and uncles who may be on the other side of the issues. Now, we should be able to agree regardless of what party line. And let me be very clear, I'm not a loyal Democrat. One of the reasons why I even vote as part of a two-party system is because that's what's available to me at the moment.
Woo!
But I also engage in politics as a Muslim American because it's about the survival of my community. We have to understand that politics in this country is not the same for everybody. That for black people, for indigenous people, for immigrants in this country, for LGBTQIA communities, it is about survival for our communities. When the right is trying to roll back voter rights, they don't want you to go to the polls. We know why they don't want us to go to the polls, because they know that we will vote for justice and equality for all people. I also ask you to go home and make sure that every single human being that you have a relationship with is registered to vote. Stop telling me that voting doesn't work. On a local level, and all politics is local.
Woo!
2018, I hope that you join me to send a very clear and loud message that it is a new day in these United States of America.
Woo!
That no longer will we allow special interests and big donors and corporations to own our elections, that we as the American people are going to take back democracy because it has always belonged to us, the people of these United States of America. We have never been outnumbered. Did you hear me? We have never been outnumbered, but we have been out-organized. So I ask you to flip that in 2018, we will out-organize the opposition, those who want to divide our communities, those who want to roll back our rights, those who want to mix religion and politics, that we will prevail in 2018 and set ourselves on a path to 2020 and bring back that White House. Today. They're not going to miss me at that rally. No one will even know I'm not there. Imagine if 5 million women said that on January 21st and said nobody would miss me if I was there. Woo! Imagine if you today said they won't miss me at this March for Truth. We have to understand our individual power in our presence when we show up in the numbers and outnumber the opposition who's only a few streets away. The resistance has to continue and it has to be strong. We cannot get tired. We stand on the shoulders of giants who sacrificed for us to be able to stand here in this space. There are people who died for our right to vote. There are people who died for us to have the rights that we cherish and are using today, like freedom of speech. So in their honor, in their legacy, I want you to keep your voices loud and your feet on these streets. I also like to look way forward. I'm 37 years old. 80 years from now, I'm hoping I'm not on this earth. I'll be too long. Many of us might not be here 80, 100 years from now. I want you to reflect on this when you leave here today. 100 years from now, when generations ahead of us look back, what kind of story do you want people to tell about our generation? I want people 100 years from now to say, man, those folks that were living in 2017 and 2018 and 2020, those were some courageous Americans. Woo! It's because of those Americans that we can stand tall and proud 100 years from now. I want people to remember us as freedom fighters. I want them to remember us as people who used our voice to make our country truly a great nation. Malcolm X once said, you cannot be so blind with patriotism that you not see reality. Wrong is wrong no matter who does it or says it. Woo! So sometimes we together will challenge each other in the movements that we are a part of. And that we have to realize that we will not always agree on everything, and that's okay. We don't even agree with our loved ones. But we should be able to have healthy discourse and challenge one another and our ideas, but understand that we all come from the same place, that we all want better for our families, that we all want to be in communities where we have access to success. We all want to be part of communities that can thrive. We want a government that treats all of those who reside here, regardless of their citizenship, with dignity and respect. That I think we can all agree on. Yeah! So many of you already know this. I've been the target of right-wing, for God's sakes, Milo came out of retirement to lead a rally against me. So I've been the target of right-wing, alt-right, right-wing Zionists. They all got together. I know, and that's why I'm here. you to understand that dissent is necessary for some of us, in particular for women of color. Dissent is dangerous. But what I am committed to is no matter how long I have to live on this earth, you can count on me to continue to be part of this resistance and to keep my voice loud in the name of justice for all people. We don't all believe in God, and that's okay. I do. And I'm here today, very warm weather, during the holy month of Ramadan.
Woo!
Drop of water, no food, but I'm committed to the struggle in a way that is very deeply spiritual for me. And me being here with you is an act of worship. That I worship justice, I worship humanity, which should be our collective religion together, that we are committed to all human beings. As someone who is one of the organizers for the Women's March on Washington, where we set up a march for 200,000 people in DC and about 1 million extra came, they were welcomed extra guests. I know how hard it is for people to put on rallies. So I want you to show gratitude to the folks that committed themselves to create a space for us to raise our voices. So, hopefully it'll be less than this, but knowing our country will have to resist regardless of whether number 45 is the president or not. But we're only less than 6 months in. So we got a long way to go. Let me say this. Let me say this to folks. Let me say this to the impeached Trump folks. I'm with you. I get it. But please don't tell me that you think what comes after him is going to be that much better. I think we're going to still have to be out on these streets. We may not die in a nuclear war, which is probably the only upside. But other than that, we're all still on the chopping block. Your health care is still on the chopping block. LGBTQ rights are still on the chopping block. Reproductive rights are still on the chopping block. So I'm with y'all, but we gotta be a little more strategic about how we look at the entire campaign that folks are working on. So what I'm saying here is that we still have at least 3.5 more years to go. At least. Work out, drink plenty of water, stay healthy. Hopefully you have health care, get a checkup, because it's a long road ahead of us, and we gotta stay resistant, consistent, persistent, because our communities are counting on us. Solidarity and love from all the women at the Women's March on Washington. And I want you all to know that the Women's March is now a 501c4 political advocacy organization, and that we are committed to running true progressives who align on our progressive platform. We're going to put our money where our mouths are, and we are going to be working with courageous women across this country to make sure that the same people who marched to the Women's March are marching to the polls in 2018. Solidarity.
Give her another round of applause. Let's give all our speakers today another round of applause.
Let's give ourselves a round of applause.
Let's give the person who lost their keys a round of applause, and also let them know that they can find their keys right there. I'll be holding them. Let's give all the volunteers all the public servants who keep this park clean, all the staff and all the organizations that were involved today.